Hey, welcome to The Explainer. If you're an educator, it probably feels like AI is changing everything, like by the minute. There are new tools, new headlines, and a whole new set of questions about what we do in our classrooms. So today, we're going to cut through some of that noise and figure out what it all really means for you.
Okay, so let's just dive right into the heart of it, because this is the big one, right? Is this technology a threat that we have to manage and contain? Or is it maybe the most powerful teaching assistant we've ever had? In this explainer, we're going to explore both sides of that coin.
And to guide us on this journey, we're pulling inspiration from the incredible work of EdTech expert Nick Peachy and his newsletter. Seriously, he's always looking just around the corner, exploring the tools that are about to drop and the questions we all need to start asking, like right now.
All right, first up, let's get practical. Before we jump into the deep end with all the big philosophical questions, let's take a look at the actual AI-powered toolkit that you can get your hands on today.
So you've probably played around with a simple AI chatbot. But you know what? The game is already changing. The next evolution is something called AI agents. These are assistants that can handle complex, multi-step tasks all by themselves. A really great free tool that shows this off is called GenSpark. So how does something like that actually work? Well, it's surprisingly simple. You just give it a topic, and then, this is the cool part, you can literally watch as the agent goes out and performs multiple web searches in real time. And what you get back isn't just a simple summary, it's a fully sourced overview. Think about it. This could mean students spend way less time hunting for sources and a lot more time actually analyzing them.
And here we can see a couple of different philosophies about what AI can do for student work. On one side, you've got a free tool like Storm, which comes out of Stanford. It's perfect for building those classic Wikipedia-style research pages with really solid references. But on the other hand, you have a premium tool like Chronicle, which acts more like a personal designer, helping you craft these slick, narrative-driven presentations. It just goes to show that AI can support both rigorous research and polished creative communication.
But AI isn't just a tool for students. It's also becoming an incredibly powerful partner for teachers. For example, a platform called Edthena is using AI for autonomous classroom observation. It's totally rethinking what professional development can even look like. Now, the whole process is designed for self-reflection, not for judgment. A teacher records their lesson, and then, in private, they tag key moments and add their own comments. Then, the AI analyzes those specific moments, acting like a supportive mentor. The real goal here is collaboration. The teacher and the AI work together to build a practical, forward-looking action plan. Pretty cool. Now, beyond the big AI platforms, Nick's newsletter also highlights some brilliantly simple and free tools that just solve those everyday classroom headaches. Let's look at a couple of these handy finds.
Okay, first up, a tool for teaching modern communication. You know how we're always trying to help students develop multimodal literacy? That's understanding how images and text work together to create meaning. Well, this free meme generator is a really fun, practical way to get that conversation started. Just a little heads up from the source, though. You'll probably want to be mindful about sharing the site directly with younger students.
And we go from the very modern to the very, very necessary. I mean, every teacher knows the pain of wrestling with PDFs. PDF Barber is this super useful, totally free, in-browser tool that lets you edit, manage, and even digitally sign those files without any of the usual hassle. A real lifesaver. All right, we've seen the tools. Now it's time to pivot to the bigger, much more complex conversations that this technology is forcing all of us to have. And this is where it gets really interesting. Nick Peachy flags a report on teenagers using AI companions, and he calls the findings, quote, a bit disturbing. Yeah, this is suddenly not about AI for homework anymore. This is about AI becoming a part of our students' social and emotional lives.
And that opens up a massive question, doesn't it? We teach digital citizenship for social media, but what's the playbook for this? When our students start forming what feel like genuine emotional attachments to an AI, what is our role as educators in helping them navigate this completely new reality?
The challenge here is huge. And let's be real, simply banning these tools is not going to work. That's why experts are now calling for something that's absolutely essential for this new era. a dedicated AI literacy framework.
There's already a draft being reviewed for primary and secondary schools. And the goal here isn't just to teach students how to use AI. It's much deeper. It's about defining the core competencies they'll need to really thrive. It's focused on empowering them to think critically and act ethically in a world that is just saturated with this technology.
So, if this is the world our students are inheriting, what's the single most important skill we can help them develop? Well, that brings us to our final section, developing your own critical edge.
In a world that is just flooded with instant AI-generated answers, the human ability to ask good questions, well, that becomes a kind of superpower. And this is where we need to return to a classic skill, Socratic questioning. It's that disciplined process of digging deeper, of challenging assumptions, and seeking real understanding, not just a quick summary. This idea is so central to what's happening that Nick Peachy is actually focusing his next book on it, exploring how we can use AI not to replace our thinking, but to actually sharpen our own critical thinking skills. So if all this has you wanting to dive deeper, his newsletter points to some really clear next steps. You can read an article all about Socratic questioning techniques, you can join the waiting list for his new book to get a discount, or you can download his digital toolbox app, which has links to over 250 tools like the ones we've talked about today.
Which really leaves us with one final thought to chew on: the future of learning with AI. It might not be about finding the right answers faster. It might be about rediscovering the profound and very human power of asking the right questions. What do you think? Thanks for joining us.